things first, Happy New Year and welcome to 2021. If you made it to the year 2021, congratulations. Let me be the first to say congratulations on doing that. As crazy as that sounds, it is an accomplishment. After a crazy year that we've had being 2020, definitely congratulations to you being here. I know a lot of people didn't get to see 2021, but this year, let's hope we make more progression. I think progression is the big word here. Progression and healing. I think that's big here for this new year. So once again, congratulations on making it 21. Welcome, and I hope you have a very successful and healthy new year. All right. Back to the channel. I'm your host, Osa. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video when you ever get a chance to. I know it's a little annoying, but if you enjoy the content, hey, come back again. We always bust out new shows every Monday right here on the Call of the Spade channel, all right? So today we're going to react to a video about relationship fatigue from a YouTuber known as Human. I kind of forgot his name, but I think it's a great video. Definitely kind of shines a light on how, from a man's perspective, how relationships can be tiring at times, and sometimes you need a break. So let's get right to it.
I'd like to talk about what happens to a man's sense of reality, how it gets warped after every successive failed relationship where he keeps getting it wrong. He's told he's getting it wrong, and he believes he's getting it wrong because he's failed. Just think about what that does to a man going forward. And then after a while, when he can't seem to get it right, whatever he does, and when everything else in his life makes more and more sense as he gets older, except for women, what do you think he gives up on? Well, in short, the thing that keeps warping his reality.
That's interesting. So I'll probably talk about with my own experience. I'm not shy about it or anything like that. But for me, the whole notion of well, not the notion that's per se, but just that part of my life where kind of tried and failed with women. That was something that was always seems to be over my head almost a little bit, right? Something I always wanted to get right. For me, that was for me when I was younger. Now not so much. I think now I'm a little bit better where I'm at right now in terms of where I was back then. Of course, you're going to grow and you're going to learn new things, and thus with that new knowledge, you're going to be better at what you're doing. But back then when I was younger, it was something that I always wanted, this is something I always wanted to have right in my life. Have a girlfriend at this time. Have this woman that's like have a woman that's solid, that is somebody that's in my corner, that wasn't necessarily like family at the moment, right? Because even with that, that's another story another time though. But just to have somebody that was like solid, not necessarily, just being there, just to say, hey, just have someone there. That was something I really wanted when I was younger, and kind of craved for a lot too. But as the years went on, that grew tiring to the point where now it was like, how do I even put it? It grew tiring to the point of where I had to now look at how I was going about things and then make a change. So that's how it went. That's how it happened for me. Sometimes for people just give up completely, and I completely understand that. But for me per se, what happened with me was that things started to happen, and the outcome was more repetitive to the point where now I had to look inside and see who was the common denominator, which was me, and I made a change. So now my whole mindset has shifted. But let's continue with the video.
I talked about how hopeless men are at reading women's supposed signs. Most of the time they don't even send them, so much so that when other women watch videos of women sending out their signals, they can't pick them up themselves. So what chance do men have? And I was thinking about how it warps a guy's sense of reality time after time when he fails at doing something that's supposedly supposed to be easy to see, except for you dummy. What it does for his ability to trust his own judgments and then to make sense of his world.
That's another good point too. When I was constantly failing at it, I also questioned some of my own judgments or some of my own reads in terms of like how I might even make decisions almost. So that did affect me a lot. So I thought that was a pretty good point that he brought out there. That in turn probably held me back the most out of everything. Just me having to second guess every single decision because that one part of my life wasn't really working and wasn't really working out the way I wanted it to work out. And thus, because of that, now I'm questioning everything, every move I'm making, every decision I make. And that in turn was like stagnating for me per se. But, it's a very good point that he definitely made right there. Let's continue.
Focus on things that do make sense to his judgment and do adhere to reality, where his sense of reality isn't warped. It's funny that when it comes to today's romantic relationships, that tends to make a man doubt his own judgment, his own cognition, his own choices, his own decisions. Even if he's actually doing what he's told, even if he's jumping through the hoops he's told to jump through, even if he's told to be a nice guy, he's following the script to a T, somehow it's upside down.
Never do that. Never ever follow any type of script, only your fucking script. Assuming that it's legal, of course. Let it be legal. Whatever you're doing, make sure it's legal, not some kind of crazy next shit. Never that. But never follow any type of script that is not yours, because at the end of the day, you are who you are. You are your own individual entity. You're not somebody else, because you can never be somebody else. If you are stepping to somebody else's shoes, you're never going to pull off whatever that said person's shoes pulled off, right? You're never going to. Instead, be you, be who you are, and that's the best, and be the best version of that. Every day, just work on yourself. Make sure you be the best version of you. That's how you gotta think of it like that. Never follow anybody's script at all. All right, let's go back.
For a while, a man sort of realizes that in that situation, it's either down to luck or he's just awful at playing the game and better to give up and give attention to the side of his life that does make sense, that doesn't make him doubt his reality, that makes him confident in his judgments, where 2 + 2 = 4. It's funny when I see these men watching female dating coaches giving advice of when a woman says this, she means this, or when a woman displays this, she's meaning this. All these mixed signals where yes means no means maybe is frankly hypocritical, coming from the half of the species that complains to men that we don't communicate.
I'll even add on to that is because they are even called mixed signals, you shouldn't really be worried about that. Instead, what you can do is just set up a certain type of standard for yourself and how you interact with other people, other women. And if you're not getting what you're looking for, move on. It's easy. I'm always going to say this is going to be a recurring thing throughout this channel's life cycle, how long I'm doing this or with the podcast or whatever. When in terms of relationships, it's always about fit. Always about fit. What are you looking for as a man? And go and put your foot down, basically. Put your foot down until you find whatever the hell it is that you're looking for. Nothing else, no compromise, nothing. Whatever you're looking for, put your foot down and make sure you find that. Before we start talking about putting yourself in a vulnerable position to bring somebody into that space, make sure whatever space that you're bringing them in, they fit in that space. All right, so that's definitely something that every man should make sure they do. Forget about this whole mixed signal nonsense. Fuck all that. That's total nonsense. That's total crap. All right, let's continue.
The way I see it is if something's important to your life, you take it seriously. Otherwise, others won't. How can you expect them to? As you pass the halfway point of your life and time becomes precious, you don't have time to waste on unsolvable female puzzles anymore. A friend told me an analogy once that dating women today is like dating them in an Inception world where everything's warping, dreams within dreams. If women keep relying on men to read their signals, women aren't direct on exactly knowing what they want. You still see it on dating sites. They either don't write anything, they don't like being asked, what are you looking for? They want to stay vague because their monkey branching instinct doesn't want to lose out. Depending on the guy in front of them, they might be open to something casual, or they might be wanting to get married.
To be fair, that goes both sides too, especially if you've been using online dating. Most people like to be vague anyways, just to keep their options open, but I understand that from a guy's perspective. If you're looking for something specific, either something casual or something relationship-wise or, marriage-wise, if you're, somehow looking at an online dating site for marriage, I don't know, but even for relationships, really, but that's neither here nor there. But if you're looking for a specific thing or someone that's ready for a specific situation, it's kind of hard because most people like to keep the options open, I'm just on here, or did not say nothing, It's that type of annoyance per se, where I come on a site looking for a certain thing and I'm not sure if I'm going to get that or not. But to be fair, that does happen. Both male and female, both men and women do that whole thing where it's just they put their bigger profile and just put it vague just to leave the doors open for any and anything, depending on how they're feeling, right? So to be fair, that's how that goes. Let's continue.
And sometimes women's ambiguity and evasiveness and supposed signals they're sending are actually the opposite of what they're wanting. But they want to be so indirect to have some sort of plausible deniability that they go about it in a very convoluted way. As an example, I remember one ex saying to me, "Oh, can you believe my ex-boyfriend wanted to have a threesome with me and another woman?" And later I found out it was actually her wanting to see how I'd react to that story because it was actually something she wanted as a fantasy. But she made up as though her ex wanted the fantasy just to gauge my judgment whether I would think it would be crazy or I would chuckle and think it's kind of sexy. But this kind of avoiding responsibility in a convoluted story to gauge the reaction of the guy and then you'll decide where you stand. It's worse than being evasive. It's actually obtuse.
That's just women doing that. This is not a both sides, and that's just women doing that. This is like you said, plausible deniability. A lot of women want, because of how, to put it in perspective, because of how society is set up, where even though I don't necessarily think that's the case now anymore, but being seen as a slut is so it's demeaning. And to be fair, if we want to keep it all the way 100%, sure, yes. If you are seen as someone promiscuous or someone that's who's out there a lot, yes, that is definitely something that's not really a good look, especially for men who are especially the type of men that most of these women want. If their image is of promiscuity, yes, certain guys will be turned off by that. But as society as a whole, as how they view it, it's not as bad as it was years ago. No, it's more accepted now than it was back then. So with plausible deniability, they want to keep that certain image of, yes, hey, I might have done stuff here and there, while in actuality she has done a whole bunch of things, and just wants to be able to shadow of protection to show herself as, hey, I am actually viewing myself as this, but in reality I'm more that. So just the farce, the facade, just the image. It's more of an image thing than anything else. And of course, if that image of her being promiscuous comes out, it's basically game over for her in terms of finding somebody that she would truly love and respect. So that's how that works out. Let's continue there. I'm going to do a little bit more, so let's continue.
Most of the time, I think women aren't openly honest or even showing up as themselves on dates. They're being silent, reading the guy if they like them, and then just mirroring him, or being vague and effectively just hiding and seeing if they can covertly stay in the relationship as they allow themselves over time, once you're in a relationship, to come out of their shell. Gentlemen, don't spend any more time than you have to with these evasive, signal-sending, aloof, quiet women where you don't know what they stand for. They don't want to talk about their past, their exes, their beliefs, their values. And if you date, force the woman sitting across from you to open up, to be honest. If she doesn't want to, then let the boys and bad boys use and abuse them. She shouldn't be your problem, not if you want an honest and whole person. Let cats put up with these women, not you.
Agreed. Totally. You said it best. Like I said before, the whole image that, you know, women are very perceptive. Most women are, actually. So, in terms of like an image they want to portray, they're gonna know what type of guy. The reason why the vagueness is there and why they want to why they want to keep that vagueness, you know, make sure and make the read so that they can become who that person, basically, so that they become who that person, the type of woman that man or that person wants. That's why the vagueness is there, so that they can become that person, that woman, that man that they want to be with, be that woman that man desires, or what that man is looking for. That's why the vagueness is there. That's why the whole pushback is there. I really 100% agree with him when he says that, hey, if she cannot be honest with you, she cannot be real with you, she cannot tell you her past. Past is very important. Past is very important. If she cannot tell you any of that, more than likely she's embarrassed by it, because she knows as soon as she says it, she's done. So that in turn should already tell you that her past is the greatest as it is, right? So if she can't be real with you, that should be already a done deal already. You should move on, all right? There's a few more minutes. I'm gonna stop it here. There's a few more minutes of the video. Go ahead, follow Human. I think great account, especially for you guys, men, who are trying to just find their footing or find some type of pathway or way to navigate through this world. I understand. Dope videos he got on there. I'll leave a link down for the rest of the video in the description. There's only a few more minutes left, so that you guys can check that out. And that's it. That's the video. All right. Once again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button. Comment down whatever it is about the video. Do you agree with some of the points that he made? Do you disagree? And don't forget to share this video out on all the social media accounts. You know, get the word out. All right. And that's it. Until next time, guys. Take care. Until next time, guys. Take care.
Yo, 4 in the morning, come home from work yawning. Light pierces the clouds, skies dawning. You there cooking up in the kitchen, let me eat in peace. You don't stress me by washing the dishes. I lift up your dress shirt, I see your panties missing. I thought fatigue got the best of me, but I